My name is Daniel, and this is my story. I was born in Iran, and I had a pretty good childhood until I was 5 years old. At 5, I was sexually abused and raped by our neighbor, which set me into a state of fear and anxiety for a long period of my life. I felt very lonely and very depressed throughout my young adulthood. We came to America when I was around the age of 11 years old. I didn't know how to speak English. I didn't really belong here either. I never really felt like I belonged anywhere. It was difficult to cope with, and I started getting into a lot of trouble to be able to fit in with people. Decided to be a bad kid. It was a conscious decision I made. And by the time I was 16 years old, I was already selling drugs. I was already doing heroin, and my life was on a downward spiral. And by the time I was 19 years old, I was already homeless and shooting up all the drugs I used to smoke. I had no God in my life, nothing. And by the end of it, I was very suicidal. After that, I went to rehab and was introduced to the sanctuary at that point. There was a little bus that used to come to the sanctuary from rehab. And we got called up to the altar. Pastor Jay did a call. We went up there, and I was so nervous. He prayed for me, put his hands on my shoulder, and I closed my eyes. And I don't really remember what the prayer he said was. I just remember the experience I had when he was praying for me. And it was the experience I had with Jesus at that point. The light and the freedom that I felt. I can't really explain it in words. I felt so light. All that weight that's been on my shoulders for so many years, it just came off. And I literally felt 100 pounds lighter as I was walking back, and I was crying, and it was life-changing. Ever since I got connected to the Sons of God and my brothers here at the sanctuary, I was able to ask questions and get to know more about myself and walk with God, and my life has changed because of that. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Get connected, ask questions, find out who you are in God, and see what He can do in your life.